Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you can see up on the screen, we've got Crownshot behind me, and that's what this video today is going to be all about. So I noticed in a video where I talked about yesterday that Crownshot is now signed with GenG, where he's going to be a content creator in the 2021 season. Obviously, people are speculating that he's most likely going to be boot camping over in Korea. He's going to be making content with the team. He's going to be grinding solo queue and hopefully trying to make his way back into the LEC. I know I talked about the fact that Crownshot should have been signed by either an LCS or an LEC team in the 2021 offseason, and that he should be on a team right now, and that teams should be looking at him into the future and hopefully signing him very, very soon. And that's very easy to say, but in this video today, I wanted to actually go through every team in NA and every team in Europe to actually take a look at the rosters and take a look at the situations of the teams overall to actually see which teams would be a fit for Crownshot, which teams maybe made a mistake passing up on him, and which teams should maybe keep an eye out for him, you know, headed into the season, depending on how well their AD carries and teams do and how well he's able to do over in Korean solo queue and just at tryouts and different stuff like that. But before we get into this, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. I think only like 28% of people are subscribed, so the odds are you are not subscribed right now, even though you're watching my video, and maybe even though you watch, you know, a lot of my videos. So I would appreciate a ton if you did subscribe. We're trying to hit 6K subs as soon as we can into 2021. That would be so awesome. Also, drop a like on this video if you do enjoy this, if you think this is a cool idea, or if you just like my channel, because it helps me out a ton as well with the YouTube algorithm. With that being said, here we go, getting right into today's video. We're going to be starting out over in NA, going through the LCS teams, and that was kind of bright, so we'll try and dim it down a little bit. Also, I guess we will zoom in a little bit so we can actually get these teams on the screen a little bit more. All right, so first up, we have 100 Thieves. So this team is obviously Someday, Closer, Demonte, FBI, and Huhi. This is so the problem with getting Crownshot into North America is the fact that most NA teams are going to have import mid laners, and if they have an NA mid laner, it's probably not a very good one, so most teams should be looking to import in the mid lane. And then, you know, then you only have 4 positions left to import, and is AD carry, especially AD carry in Season 11, really the position you're going to import? That's kind of the tough position Crownshot's in trying to get into North America. So when we take a look at this roster, obviously their imports are going to be Someday and Closer, and there is rumors of maybe Someday getting his green card in the future, so maybe they would have you know, an open import slot. But this team's not going to be replacing FBI, and I wouldn't even want to replace FBI with Crownshot. So 100 Thieves is not going to be the answer, unfortunately. We go on to Cloud9. Same thing here. You know, we have 2 imports in Sven and Perks, and Cloud9 is one of the few teams that is actually importing AD carry, and they have been pretty successful with it. Obviously, they won a championship in the spring. They did not make it to Worlds, however, so the jury's still out how good of a decision it is. But again, I do not think Cloud9 would be or should be replacing Crownshot with Sven. So Cloud9 is also not the answer. Next up, we have CLG. This is a weird situation. They have Finn and Broxa, both players coming off of kind of down years last year, where people are kind of rating them really, really lowly, and that's why they end up at CLG. CLG's buying low on them, hoping that people are underrating them, they're going to exceed expectations, and have a really, really good 2021, hopefully. The other options as far as top laners go in North America would not be great. I mean, you could go with like Haunter, perhaps somebody like that, maybe even Solo, but those wouldn't be super, super exciting options, and I think Finn might have the highest ceiling out of all those guys, especially at this point in their career, even though Finn has been a little inconsistent as well. So have those 2 guys. So I don't know how that would go, but also Wild Turtle is very, very solid. He's not one of the top tier AD carries in the LCS anymore, but he's very, very solid. So I don't know if CLG would necessarily want to be shaking up their roster to replace Crownshot. Crownshot probably is better than Wild Turtle, but is he so much better that it's, you know, worth not having an import somewhere else? Because again, if you do have Crownshot, then you have to go with an NA player either in jungle or top, and who exactly would that be? I don't really know. Maybe you could get like a Smithy. That's not really great for the future. Maybe get Haunter, maybe Solo, but again, I don't love those options. So if I was CLG, I still wouldn't go for Crownshot. Next up, we have Dignitas. We have a full North American team here. Fate God, Dardoch, Soligo, Neo, and Aframu. This is an easy decision for me. You have a full NA team. Why not take on an import? Crownshot is 22 years old, so he's not like super young, you know, building for the future, but he's definitely young, has a ton of potential, and good years left ahead of him. And maybe you think Neo is the AD carry of the future. I personally do not. I would much rather have Crownshot on this team. The question would be, would Crownshot want to come over and play on Dignitas? I don't know, but if I was Dignitas, I would definitely be looking at Crownshot. Next up, we have Evil Geniuses. The 2 imports on this team being Jizuke and Ignar. We have Impact, Svenskeren, and Deathly as the residents. So, bringing over Crownshot would mean moving on from one of these 2 guys. And personally, I would much rather have Crownshot at the AD carry with a different mid laner. But I don't know exactly who that would be. I guess the best North American mid laner available would probably be a guy like Cat Evolved. Obviously, there is some other maybe academy options, maybe some other guys young and up and coming. Maybe you could pull off a trade or something. So if I was Evil Geniuses, I would personally be looking at Crownshot, and I think that could make this team a lot better. Yes, it would be taking a little bit of a risk with the mid laner, but I think Jizuke and Deathly are risks in and of themselves, and I think Crownshot would kind of be the best player of the bunch. And Evil Genius is a team with a ton of talent. Impact, Svenskeren, and Ignar. If they brought in Crownshot too and could just figure out something solid in the mid lane, this could be a really, really scary team. So if I was EG, I would definitely take a look at Crownshot and see if they could figure out doing something, because I don't expect Deathly to have that great of a 2021 season. Next up, we have FlyQuest. This is a team with a ton of young talent. People have really, really mixed opinions on them. I think they're going to be a really, really solid and exciting, fun team. Johnson, one of the best and a super young AD carry who can still learn and grow a ton. I would definitely not be replacing him with Crownshot. And next up, we have Golden Guardians. This is a super, super young team. They just have 1 import in newbie in the support position. And again, this is a young team with, a ton of inexperienced guys, except for Stixay, who is seen as more of a veteran. But I would say Crownshot is better than him, and they obviously have an open slot. Maybe Stixay, some people say Smoothie was maybe the issue on CLG. Maybe CLG is just a bad organization. Maybe Stixay will kind of be able to revitalize his career on Golden Guardians. But I would feel more comfortable taking the bet on Crownshot. So again, Crownshot, would he want to come to Golden Guardians? I don't know, but if I'm Golden Guardians, I would want him. And how many teams we got left? We got a couple teams left. We got Immortals, who have Revenge, Xerxes, Insanity, Raze, and Destiny. Obviously, this team just has 1 import, Xerxes, so there would be no issues there. Raze and Destiny are now residents in the LCS. And I would definitely much rather have Crownshot than Raze, but do you risk breaking up the Osh synergy in the bot lane, and just how much weight or value should you put in that synergy? Personally, I don't know. Probably not much, honestly. I think Crownshot would do just fine with Destiny, and I think Immortals could maybe look that way for this team. I also think this team would be completely fine importing in the top lane as well, so maybe Crownshot wouldn't be their #1 priority. But just in a vacuum, if I think Crownshot would fit into this team, if it would make sense, and if he would make them better, yes. There's another situation, though. Would Crownshot want to come over to Immortals? I don't know. I don't really know what his priorities are as far as, how long is he willing to hold out? Does he want to play for a good team? Does he want to play for a middling team? Does he want to make money? Whatever. It seems like all the bad teams in NA could definitely use him, however, and actually have room for him. Next up, Team Liquid. This is an obvious no for me for very, very obvious reasons. Tactical, he is young, he is very, very talented, he is on the up and coming, he has an insanely high value, and I don't think you'd rather have Crownshot than him. He also just fits into this team well, has existing synergy with Core JJ, so no thanks. And this is finally TSM. Their 2 imports are obviously going to be Power of Evil and Sword Art, and I can't really see, both these guys have just a ton of value. Again, you need to import mid lane if you want to be a top team in North America for the most part, and so obviously TSM had to do that. Power of Evil should hopefully be amazing for them this year, and then Sword Art was, their $3 million guy. This is the guy they went out and made a splash on. While yes, I do think Crownshot would be better than Lost, obviously, I just don't see any way that this would possibly work on TSM. So in the end, out of the North American teams, you have a bunch of bad teams, Dignitas, Golden Guardians, Immortals, who would all work out for Crownshot. But in the end, I think the best position for both Crownshot and the LCS would be on Evil Geniuses. Now, the much more realistic options. Let's take a look at the LEC. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of other bad teams that you can maybe fit on, but could we actually get them onto a good team? Could we get them onto a team better than Evil Geniuses? First up, Astralis. This is kind of the meme team of the LEC right now. White Knight, Zanzarod, Nuke Duck, Jeskla, and Promiscu. I would say definitely I would rather have Crownshot over Jeskla, but man, I don't know if I would wish this team on Crownshot. That would kind of be rough. Next up, we have Excel. This is a really, really interesting team building around a very, very solid core of Jekolad and Patrick. I am very hyped up, very excited for both of these players. Patrick is coming off an absolutely insane season where he's looking to if he can take another step up in 2021, he might become one of the best 80 carries in Europe. And I mean, he's already pretty damn close. So I don't think I would rather have Patrick. So I don't think that Excel would be, that interested in Crownshot, obviously, at this time. Next up, we have Schalke, who is a very interesting team. They lost Oduwamne, but they're getting Broken Blade. They lost Dreams, but they got Limit coming in. Two very, very good replacements for players that obviously meant a lot to this team last year. But Neon is the 80 carry, and he was not bad last year. He was honestly pretty solid, but I would rather have Crownshot. I think this would be one of the best landing spots for Crownshot in the LEC or the LCS in either league. Schalke is a team who obviously was very, very close to making it to Worlds last year. They have high hopes coming into this next year, and I think Crownshot would be an upgrade for them and could make this honestly a pretty scary team if you don't think they are one already. Next up, we have Fnatic. Obviously, there was a ton of rumors going on. What was going to happen with Fnatic? Were they going to be able to keep Reckless once they lost him? Were they going to go with Upset? Were they going to go with Crownshot? Blah, 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 blah. Fnatic had the choice already between Upset and Crownshot. They went with Crownshot, and I don't blame them. Upset is an absolute beast, and I don't think they went wrong there. So, no thanks. Next up, we have G2, who this is just going to be an obviously no. We don't even need to talk about this. They have Reckless. They have an absolutely stacked team. Again, they had the choice between Reckless, between Crownshot, between Upset, and they made their decision pretty clear already. Next up, we have the Mad Lions. This is a team that I think is so exciting and fun to watch when they are actually playing well. Obviously, Humanoid, Kaiser, two absolutely insane guys. Some new guys coming in, Arma and Aloya. But we're talking about Karji as 80 carry, which I do not think the Mad Lions would be looking to replace. So I do not think that this would be an option for Mr. Crown. Next up, we have Misfits. Kind of a weird roster. They got a lot going on. Still don't know what's going to be going on in the top lane. Don't think either option is that great. Razork, Vethio, Denick and Vander in the bot lane paired up with Kabe, who I actually like a lot. I like his personality, like his gameplay, think he's an absolute beast, but give me Crownshot over him. I think Misfits would actually be making a good decision if they went with Crownshot over Kabe, even though I think Kabe is very, very solid and wouldn't be a bad option either, but just personally, I would maybe lean towards Crownshot a little bit. And Crownshot paired up with Vander, I think would be very, very, very exciting, very scary, and very, very fun to watch. Next up, we got Rogue. They have Oduwamna, Inspired, Larson, Trimby, the new support coming in. We'll have to see how good he is able to come in and do in the LEC. But as far as Han Sama, this would be an obvious no for Rogue. And for me, Crownshot would not be coming into this team. Next up, we have SK Gaming, GenX, Tynex, or Tinks. I still don't really know. I've heard people say it both ways. Blue, Treats, and Jezu is our new 80 carry. I would want Crownshot to return to SK. I think he obviously fit in well there before. I think he would fit in well again. He took a chance trying to get onto a bigger team this year. Then SK obviously replaced him, and then he was left with nowhere to go. But I think Crownshot paired up with Treats would be a fun bot lane to watch. But I don't know if SK would really want to bring him back at this point. So it's probably just a no for me. And finally, we have Team Vitality, Cisgenda, Skeens, Militia, Labrov, and Comp. And Comp is very, very solid, and he was obviously a nice bot lane duo with Labrov in the past, and they've been very, very good together. But I do think Crownshot would be an upgrade. I think this could be a move that Vitality could make to maybe improve themselves in the standings a little bit. Maybe start threatening for like a top 5 spot in the LEC. But in the end, again, for me, the best spot in the LEC for Mr. Crownshot would be Schalke. Best team in the LCS would be Evil Geniuses. I think both of those teams would make a ton of sense for Crownshot, and Crownshot would make a ton of sense for both of those teams. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. This was a very, very different style of video that I just wanted to try out, that I'd been thinking about. If you guys do enjoy this, again, make sure you drop a like. I would appreciate it a ton, and it shows me that you guys enjoy this type of video, because I could do this for a couple of other players. We could go through some guys. I'm thinking like Sneaky. I'm thinking we could do this for Nemesis. There is some other guys that we could do like this full breakdown for, because I think this is a ton of fun to do, and I think it's something a little bit different. So hopefully you guys do enjoy me mixing it up a little bit. Leave a comment down below. What team do you think would make the most sense for Crownshot? What team do you think Crownshot should want to go to? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay updated on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.